share this with people. We have to wake people up so they can understand that the government is sabotaging what was once our normal way of life so they can enslave us with technology. Now, people out there hear that and they just roll their eyes at the notion of it. But this is a perfect example of problem reaction solution, which is the playbook, the blueprint that the government is using. They are allowing crime to run amok. They're raising the crime rate by letting criminals commit crimes, not sending police, and continuing to allow criminals out of jail. Now, in a lot of cases, they're actually paying the criminals to go and commit these crimes, letting them know that not only will they not be arrested, they'll be paid for it to go and do it. And that might sound crazy, but that's all being done for what I'm about to show you. So California, we all look at and we say, wow, California really is a cesspool. California's really become the toilet bowl of the United States of America. Well, that's all been done by design, as Gavin Newsom has been killing it and destroying it with a smile, like all of these non-elected government officials who have been put in place in these positions to sabotage our infrastructure. This is what it looks like. So now in Hawthorne, California, they are rolling out drones as police. That's right, call 911 with a problem, we'll send a drone. Now, the police are obviously doing their job by not stopping the crimes. You may have noticed the logo for the Fraternal Order of Police, probably haven't, but let me point it out to you before I show you how this works. You can even look at the pentagram logo, the 5-pointed star, and you can see in the bottom left corner an all-seeing eye. And then in the right, on the bottom, that's a Masonic handshake. That's because the police are in on this. The police deliberately are allowing this to occur because their supervisors, their sheriffs, their people in power, their police stations that they're stationed at are letting this occur so that they could roll out technology, again, to enslave us. So in California, watch this news clip that just aired, and it's not just California, it's spreading to blue states, and that's another thing I've been warning about. The deliberate blue and red states that they're creating, where there's going to be different rules and different laws, and they're going to make you want to live in a state that represents you best. But the reality of the matter is it's just an illusion. You go to a red state, you're a sitting duck for weaponized weather, like we're seeing right now in central, in the middle of the United States of America. People are getting devastated by tornadoes every single day, and nobody's even looking or thinking that the government's behind it, and they are. But Hawthorne, California, dispatching drones, and what's important to note with this video, pay close attention. These drones are showing up, and yeah, they're going, well, the drone could drop off supplies if somebody needs a medical kit, but they're also mapping out the inside of your home. That's right, the drones are getting inside of people's homes and giving the government a blueprint of your house on the inside. And most people are so desensitized, they'd say, well, what's the big deal? Who really cares, right? Well, yeah, if you're a dumbed down sheeple and you've already allowed all this technology in your home to spy on you, when you talk in your remote, and you say, hey, could you put on the basketball game? And then suddenly the basketball game goes on, you ever think twice about how the technology is listening to you? That's a perfect example. But no, they don't. But we're seeing the government completely rogue, completely out of control on both sides of the aisle, Republican and Democrat, and they're stripping us of our rights and enslaving us with tech. Look.
Hawthorne Police Department is about to start something using flying first responders. A fleet of new drones will be used to respond to some 911 calls.
And KCAL News reporter Nick Zechovich shows us the new generation of law enforcement.
I think in the future these probably will make the police helicopter obsolete.
The Hawthorne Police Department is set to be one of the first agencies in the country to get its hands on some game-changing tech, a fleet of the first purpose-built 911 response drones.
So 911 call comes in, the doors on this open up, the drone autonomously launches, goes, responds to a 911 call in 90 seconds or less, can drop off payloads, Narcan, AD, EpiPens.
The drones are expected to clear 25% of 911 calls without ever sending an officer.
Then after the emergency is complete, it'll autonomously fly to another one of these nests, land, and start recharging.
Delivering payloads of life-saving drugs is just one of many uses for the drones. Brink has already been successful with its much smaller tactical lemur drones, meant to maneuver indoors.
As the drone enters a structure and flies in each room, you're actually seeing this real tiny being etched out.
Knowing the layout of a building, critical for SWAT teams planning to enter. Each drone deployed means one less human life on the line.
I mean, I got thinking about all of this after number one, where
A Las Vegas resident, Brink CEO Blake Resnick started the company after the 2017 Route 91 Harvest Festival mass shooting, and now wants to save lives through technology.
The point of all this is to save people's lives, lower response times, help first responders make good decisions with as much information as possible.
Inspiring a new generation of officers along the way.
We're struggling with finding people that want to be cops. A lot of scrutiny on our jobs each day in and day out. So when you have a drone program at your agency, this is appealing to that generation.
Today, Brink products are deployed by more than 400 public safety agencies globally, saving lives through de-escalation. And now, the tech has arrived right here in Southern California. In Hawthorne, Nick Zechovich, KCAL News.
So that's convenient, right? This is what the government has wanted all along. They want a society that is run from technology. Remember, the World Economic Forum's motto with this fourth industrial revolution is AI governance. Nobody seems to notice that. Everybody just points at claws. You got the alt-right media playing into everybody's hand, talking about, oh, these people are crazy, old people, we got to stop them. Nobody reads between the lines. If they're telling you they want AI governance, that means they have to destroy the current infrastructure. Okay, they're not just doing it and didn't just do it with the outbreak that occurred. They're allowing criminals to create crimes. In fact, they're paying criminals to go and commit crimes. That's what's happening in subways in New York. That's what's happening in California. You might say, well, why would they ever do that? Well, why? So then they can start using biometrics to scan our faces. Then they can start scanning our bodies in the subways to make sure we don't have knives or guns. People go, well, that's a great thing. We don't need that. But the reality of the matter is they're stripping us of our rights, and they're giving full-on carte blanche control to the technology. Does this look familiar to you when you see drones showing up? They've been showing us this for a long time, right? In movies about drone technology flying over surveillance state. This hasn't been because some of these writers in Hollywood were just like, hey, wouldn't that be crazy in 40 years if that's what the world looks like? They've been trying to make the world look like this. They've had the technology. It's been about convincing you and getting you so comfortable with tech that it's normal for you to see drones flying around your head. Remember in They Live when they had the drones flying around?
And who are you, little fella? Come and show 'em where I am. Nice.
And it's not just They Live. It's not just movies like that. Of course, this is 1984. This is 1984. People out there, again, they get comfortable with their political associations, so they go, I'm not doing anything bad. That's the mindset of the sheeple. I'm not doing anything bad, so I don't care if the government is watching me. What am I doing wrong? Right? That's the common motto of the current modern day completely dumbed down Democrat, right? And it's Republicans too, but Republicans are going to push back more on this technology because they care more about their actual rights and human rights. So that's why this has to start in blue states. They'll figure out other ways to enslave people in red states with technology, like baiting them by saying, hey, we're going to need this type of surveillance technology to keep the immigrants out, right? To keep Al Qaeda out. Oh, yeah, we should get it. But for the time being, the Democrats will go along with this because they don't have the slightest clue. And when they see the way that the government's behaving, they think that the government, without even realizing it, is catering to them. And they are. But they're catering to them so that they fall for these types of deceptions and ask for them. So Democrats are asking for more surveillance. They're feeling like, oh, I'm afraid that someone's going to go to my school with a bang bang, or somebody's going to show up in the subway with a bang bang. They don't realize the government's staging these events so that they feel that way, so they can come in and go, hey, here's the solution, right? And for those of the people out there that don't know, this is what 1984 looks like, okay? The people's area, everybody's convened to small zones. I mean, literally, you're talking about zoning, you're going to be in zones. And of course, if you're out past curfew, this is what it looks like. Now, this is without drone technology, but this is the world that they're trying to create.
The number of entrants in the Big Brother Victory Lottery has exceeded all previous records. And after deducting the usual percentage for the Bound Areas Fund, the proceeds to be distributed as prizes are the greatest since the inception of this lottery. Here are the results, as they were drawn by the hand of Big Brother himself from the millions of numbers. The first prize, higher than ever before, goes to 634921. The second prize, also larger than any previous one, goes to number 1346294. Smith W. Where you were? In the Ministry of Truth. Which department? The Records Department. What is your business in the people's area? I had a headache. I thought if I got a little air. And you were? $1,800. It's not $2,200. Report tomorrow morning at $800 to post administration.
So does that look like fun for anybody? And I understand when people listen to my channel, like he's overreacting. But am I? Am I overreacting? Are you paying attention to what's happening around us? The only people who think that I'm overreacting are people who are not paying attention. And by not paying attention, it's more so they see this stuff, I'm showing it to them, and they don't want to accept it, right? This is what I've been talking about with basic psychology. If you study basic psychology, when faced with confrontation, if you don't face the actual confrontation head on, most people regress, which is why you see what? When you regress, most adults start behaving like children again. It's a psychological mechanism. They go backwards, right? Instead of forwards. They start acting like children. They start turning to, what do you think you see so many things promoted on YouTube where adults are getting like their childhood toys again? They're going on toy hunts. And then if you say anything, like, don't make fun of them, let them go have fun. It's not making fun of them. It's observing, why is this occurring? Why are so many adults reverting and going back to behaving like children? Because they see this stuff happening, and instead of going, all right, we got to do something about it, they instead just go, I don't want to believe that that's what they're trying to do. I don't want to believe that that's what it's headed for. That's too depressing. That's too dark. And then at the same time, they're going in reverse. They're starting to behave like kids. They're going to Disney World. They're buying toys for themselves in their 40s. They can't even figure out why. Like, I just spent $10,000 on toys. It's like, meanwhile, I'm trying to show people this stuff, and they go, that's too doom and gloom for me. That's too doom and gloom. Too doom and gloom. This is the reality that's occurring. Okay, I'm not trying to make people out there depressed by saying I'm trying to show you it so we can stop it from spreading. So this is what they're doing in democratic states, and of course this is basic problem reaction solutions. So I tell everybody about, right? They're allowing the crimes to occur. They're showing you more crimes that are actually occurring by manufacturing the news. The news is to condition you. It's not to inform you. They want you to be scared to go out. They want you to think that crime is running amok. And of course we can look around at these cities and see how disgusting it is, but they're letting it happen, right? The fraternal order of the police is a Masonic order. Whatever orders they're given, they take, right? And that's why I've talked about over the last couple of years, which people have just forgotten about. All these stories with police going after people of color, right? Oh, they're attacking them, they're doing this. They're deliberately doing these things. You think the police are that, they lack that much self-awareness that when they pull somebody over of color, they don't go, well, I better be extra careful because I'll end up making national news if I say anything or I do anything. And then we just see story after story after story. You go, how is this cop actually doing this and not knowing that he's going to lose his job, he's going to go to jail? Because it's all fake. It's all manufactured. Doesn't mean there's not bad police. They are bad. Because most of them go through the fraternal police order. I'm not saying every person who's ever been a cop is bad. But I'm saying that the higher ups, the sheriffs, the heads of these departments are all high-ranking Freemasons, are given these orders to stand down. And that's why all of a sudden you hear all these stories about how the police are standing down. Oh, the police aren't going to do so. There's not enough cops all of a sudden. How crazy, right? All of a sudden you call 911, nobody shows up, right? You call 911, the police are too busy to go and try to take care of the crime, right? Oh, you don't want to hire. The solution isn't to hire more cops? No, because cops are racist. So what's the solution? Oh, here's the solution. We're going to start sending out drones and literally make this like 1984, right? And on top of all that, the drones are showing up. Oh, guess what? Here's all the positive news they'll spin. They're showing up in record time. You'll hear data out in the news because this is how propaganda works. You'll hear data. Oh, did you know it's stopping crime? And then that spreads and everybody goes, oh, it's actually preventing crimes. This is a good thing. They're getting there in how long? Oh, watch how many stories come out about how the drones get there in like 90 seconds. So people are like, this is faster than any police have ever come to my home. Right? You'll hear story after story after story. Then you just condition the masses into saying, that's what we need. We need more drones. Why don't we do the drone experiment, right? In every town across America, when suddenly the police just don't show up for any crimes that are committed. And on top of that, like I said earlier, you got these drones mapping out the inside of your home. Now, a lot of the technology that's already in our home is mapping our homes out, giving a blueprint right to the government. So, people are like, oh, well, what are they going to use the blueprint for? The government's going to break in your home and do something. Yeah, they are actually. And you'll see sooner than later. But people out there still go, yeah, but I don't do anything wrong. And they don't realize that whatever their mindset is now, eventually something the government does is going to push them to a point of not liking it. I use the LGBT as a perfect example. They're catering to you and baiting you because you're helping get all these free speech laws passed, right? Eventually they're going to turn on you. It doesn't matter what these people do behind closed doors. We know they do every unimaginable act you could possibly imagine. But that doesn't mean that they care about you because you perform the same acts as them. They're going to strip you of your rights. And suddenly you're going to go, hey, pride community, we got to get together and we got to stop this from, all of a sudden they're not letting us say this or do that. And they're going to go, excuse me? What'd you say? No. We don't agree anymore with you and your group. In fact, we don't even want to have your prideful parades anymore. And suddenly you're going to try to get together and have a grassroots movement. Guess what? You aren't going to be able to because they're listening, they're monitoring, and they're going to turn on all civilians sooner or later. They're just using a lot of the civilians out there now to get these laws put in place. And that's what the hate crime laws are for. That's it. It's to remove free speech. That's it. People like me get hit with hate speech laws all the time. I don't promote any hate. I might talk about disagreeing and not going along with this agenda, thinking this is sick, et cetera, et cetera. But that's considered hate now. You would think hate would just mean calling for violence against people, but no. So people haven't enabled the government to do this by removing speech so that we can't call out what the government's really doing. Next thing is going to be with this stuff in place, they're going to start turning on Democrats, they're turning on the people they pretend to support, people of color, et cetera. They're working you. You're getting played. No different than having a psychotic girlfriend or boyfriend. That's what they're doing. So we're going to send drones to solve the problem that we're creating. That's what they're telling you because they're the ones who are creating the problem. They're the ones who are allowing crimes to be committed. They're the ones who are saying, oh, call 911, nobody's showing up. Now, why all of a sudden in the history of the world someone's showing up? We have more people than ever. Oh, they tell you because crimes are being committed more than ever. There's not enough police, right? Well, then maybe take our tax money, train and hire more cops, right? But it's about replacing humans with tech. Because to have an AI governance, this all goes back to the World Economic Forum and all these rich elite globalists and all of our politicians who go and meet. They keep talking about AI governance, smart cities. Everything is run through tech. Everything. Which means that this is what it looks like. This, right? Drones flying in. People are like, that's great. Look, the drone is dropping me an EpiPen. Oh, yeah. And then when the drone flies over you need an EpiPen and they realize, wait, you were the one that said that you didn't like the way the government was funding. Or you said something we disagree with. Here, we won't drop an EpiPen. We'll just drop a grenade right on your home. How's that sound? Yeah. We're allowing them to get away with this. They're doing this for this. And again, it's not just California. It's spread to Colorado. Other states are trying this out now with drones. And we can all sit here and say, well, if I see one fly over my house, I'll shoot it down. Well, guess what? You'll say that until there's laws in place where it's a federal crime and you go to jail for 50 years, longer than anybody who commits a crime with a child would ever go. Okay? And you won't get bail and you won't get parole. It'll be considered, because all they'll do, and people go, no, they won't do that. Oh yeah, you shoot a drone down out of the sky. That's a police drone. They'll consider it the same as assaulting a police officer, number one. Number two, they'll say that by you doing that, whatever place that drone was flying to could have saved the life of someone else. So you'll also be guilty of murder or whatever occurred there. If somebody there got attacked, you'll be responsible too. You'll be a third party. You'll be, guilty by association because you brought the drone down. And people go, that's not true. That won't happen until the laws are in place. And then you have your hand on the gun and you go, I can't do it. I don't want to go to jail for 50 years to shoot it down. And that's what they do. They just keep taking, all by design so they can bring about stuff like this. Please share this video. Make people aware. This is what is occurring around us. And it's only occurring because they're sabotaging. That's the key word. They're sabotaging our way of life so that they can put us under full-on surveillance. And you can sit there and roll your eyes and say, you don't say anything that's ever going to get you in trouble. Yeah, I used to say that too. And eventually people out there that feel protected, you won't be protected. When you give all of our rights away to technology and you never know who the boogeyman behind the scenes is, and we all know who they are. They're that one group of people that you're not allowed to talk about. And currently most Christians out there are in bed with them, called the synagogue of Satan. I thank you for being here, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families as always.